Hello guys, welcome to another Fear Not Tarantula's mystery box unboxing video. Today we have the 2023 Halloween fall mystery boxes. I've only picked up 3 of them this time, so we'll see what we get out of them. I have a couple guesses on what they probably are. I know at least one of them I'm fairly confident will be a Darthmaul Tarantula, but we will see. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, and today there is supposed to be a coupon code that those of us that got the mystery boxes received for a currently unknown, very desirable species according to Tanya from Paramount, which means it probably is a very good species. And the coupon code is supposed to get us a nice discount on it. Let's see what we got. Don't know if we will get a hint as to what that species is from here. I'm going to check this real quick and see. But anywho, here is their card for you guys this time. Get that to focus here. There we go. And now, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. Actually, that might be the coupon code I was talking about right here. Probably in here. Let's see. We'll be posting the reveal on Saturday, the 28th. They have a very sought after species available soon. Looks like somebody in the Facebook group guessed it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say what it is. I'm sure somebody in the Facebook group will end up like making it known anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it now, and I will edit this out of the video if they didn't want that announced. I'm obviously not going to say the promo code though, but it looks like it is going to be the ladybird velvet spiders, or ladybird spider, velvet spider species. Where'd it go? Oressus welkenari, I believe it's how it's pronounced. I probably butchered that. So it looks like I did accidentally set this as make it a package because I did not pay attention to what I was doing, which is fine. I already had this exact enclosure actually over here already in preparation, so it'll save me the worry. So we got a couple of mealworms in here for them. We got, I'm guessing this is cocoa fiber. I'm going to probably end up using my the Biodude Terrarena substrate as I use for all of them though. Especially since this one, I believe this was a fossorial, and I don't want to have to rehouse them later on into a better substrate in case anything happens. It looks like that's everybody out of the box. So let's see what we got going on. These are all of our tarantulas here. This is Haley's Halloween Horror. I believe this is the one that I'm thinking is most likely a Euthyllus species. Or one of the two. This is Emma's Flame of Fury. Actually, that might be this one that I'm thinking of. I made the label in advance just in case so I could tell. Let's see. Yeah, that was my guess was Homeo Emma chilenensis. For, I believe it was one of these two. The second one, I believe, was the other Homeopelma species or Euthos species, but I couldn't tell them apart 100%. And they both sounded like it was one of the two, and I didn't want to miss out in case one was one and the other was not. Because I've been actually wanting these species in my collection for a while now. And this one is supposed to be Evan and Tony's ghoulish gem. And I believe this one is a P.victori, aka, or I believe it's Victory. The Darthmaul Tarantula is the common name. The hint sounded very much like it. It all but said that it was a Darthmaul Tarantula, hinting with the half red, half black. And it being an arboreal species. I also cross-referenced all of these with the sizes of the tarantulas available on their website. So if it hinted it was a terrestrial, I read the description, got the poem off of that, used that to get a hint at possible environments could have came from, if it was an old world, a new world, because they explicitly tell you if it's new world or old world, and the size range it would be coming as. So I used those to narrow down their website by searching the size, and then I went through and cross-referenced between the new worlds and the old worlds respectively, based on habitat and the hints in the poems to figure out what they could be. And this one should be my freebie, the Grammostola Asteon, I believe is how it's pronounced. Probably butchered that. And he looks like, he or she looks like she's a nice size up there. As always, I hope it's a she. I think probably the only tarantula I own that I'm hoping one is a boy is I actually have two Venezuelan sun tigers. I was trying to remember the species. Pyraminia, there we go. For some reason my brain kept wanting to say Victori, which is, as we just established, the Darthmaul Tarantula. This one was my other one that I added to the mix that I've wanted for a while. One of the only avicularias that are not currently in my collection. Avicularia purpea, aka the purple pink toe. The true purple pink toe, not the morph type 2 of the Gerensis, which is also a purple pink toe, but it's not the true purple pink toe. This is my electric blue that I have wanted for a while, which has now officially got its species. It was put into Natanacarum, I believe is how it's pronounced. I'm going to butcher all these names, so I'm just going to say that up front, as I've already said a few times. And it looks like this one here is my golden blue leg baboon, which, yes, I was right. The genus does start with an H. I did remember that much. Harpapactera pulchripes. I don't know why I can remember pulchripes. I have a Grammostola pulchripes upstairs, which is currently one of my favorite tarantulas. And actually the only of my tarantulas that I do handle from time to time. Granted, it climbs out on its own. So let's go ahead and rehouse our pulchripes here first, since we have his enclosure right next to us here. Go ahead and use the Biodude Terra Arena that we have here. We'll just load this up a bit here. It is a fossorial, so we want to go almost to the top. I did bring a paper plate over here, actually, for this exact reason, so I don't get soil all over the place here. And there I am forgetting to do that. I'm trying to mitigate the amount of cleanup this time around. But let's see, I think probably go a little bit more. I think that should be good. We'll leave the stick in there because it could use that to probably leverage its tunnel some. I think that's probably plenty. I don't want to do too much here. Not sure its exact size yet, but I'm going to grab a small tattoo cap for water, which I will fill these later because I left the water for them. I run all my water through a filtration system, a reverse osmosis, and I currently have it loaded up in a nice big spray container for when I go around and refill water dishes. And I forgot that upstairs. So we're not going to worry about that right now. I'm not sure if these are meant to be designs or mixed into the soil to help give it some structure, but there is some. I'm actually going to take out this big piece of charcoal that is in there. We'll use that like that and give it this little fake leaf here. That's the other thing. I actually had a couple other fake leaves for some of these enclosures, and I did not bring them down with me. So anybody who needs one, I guess will get that later. That's an easy enough thing to add afterwards. And we'll just put another cork bark piece right here. Give them this little mushroom. And this little pebble there. Hopefully try to leverage that to keep it from putting all the soil in its water dish, which we know is going to happen. But this being an old world, we're going to be really careful here. Although I do know that these are less on the high-strung side. Granted, I have a green bottle blue that or not green bottle blue, rather, a cobalt blue. Again, I was about to say the species for green bottle blue. Serapagopus lividus, which is, again, the cobalt blue tarantula. My brain is just not cooperating today. The cobalt blue tarantula is obviously notorious for being a very high-strung and defensive species. Mine, however, spends most of its time just sitting either on top of its webbing at night, and during the day it's got a couple of its legs out, or it's completely in the enclosure, but has never so much as darted from me, let alone showed a defensive posture or anything. So, if that guy wasn't bad, I don't think this one will be, which you guys actually see. It'll zoom in for focus for you. It's got its little legs. It's currently trying to see what's going on. Its mouth is right there. So we're going to try not to accidentally get tagged. Not that a sling would be too bad. That's assuming that a sling could even puncture skin, which I have not ever actually heard of anything like that ever happening. I don't know if it even can. But just because I don't know does not mean it can't happen. So we're going to be real careful to get this from the opposite side, like so. And then we will do this, which I actually did not bring my tongs down. I might have to pause this recording here in a second, guys, and go get those, because I do not want to attempt to pull this out by hand. So I will be right back. Alrighty, guys, I am back with the tongs that I forgot upstairs on the tarantula shelf. Let's get the Capotera poker piece out. Moved in. There you go. You guys can see him there. So let's go ahead and get this guy into the enclosure. We're gonna use the moss that's behind her, coax her out, and onto the vial and up the tongs. Wonderful. Probably can't do much, like I said before, with some older old species. I'd rather not try my luck, and down she goes onto the plate. Good thing I came prepared with a catch cup. The giant ass catch cup for this little sling. who's currently under the plate. Oh, and across the table she goes. Alright, I'm going to pause this video and catch her real quick, because now she's under the laptop that's currently recording this. Alrighty guys, I've caught her and gotten her in here. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. See if I can't get a reflection with the light. I actually should invest in a better camera for these videos. However, I don't do them too often. So it hasn't made sense to do so yet. And some better lighting. So let's just go ahead and lift this slightly so you guys can get a view of her, hopefully without her darting out again. Give it a focus. She's right there next to the, between the mushroom, the dish, and the green stone there. There we go. You have a very little bit of gold on her, just shimmering under the black. So we will refill that water dish later on, and we will go from there. Next, let's go ahead and do, let's see, the Chilabraki's Natani Karum. If I can figure out where in the vial it currently is, because it's looking like it's going to be on the surface. I don't remember exactly how big it was estimated to be. I don't want to put it in something too large. I believe of all of them, this would be the one that was going to get the smaller 2-inch sling enclosure, and not the 3-inch square, since it's slightly taller. Although I think it's actually, I say that, but I'm pretty sure it is the same depth. Yeah, it actually is. So it'd probably just go in a normal sling enclosure. I take that back. Don't want to open this all the way. I just want to get a view of it, figure out what we're doing. And again, this is another old world. I'm going to gently move this. And it just pulled itself under further. Alright, it's about the same size as the other one was. So what it'll do, being that it's fossorial, I'm going to actually put it in the exact same enclosure, just the other one that I have that's identical. This is actually the one that came with my green bottle blue, which was the first of the tarantulas that I had gotten in my current collection. Way back when, I used to have a Grammosola rosea. Actually, I believe it was a, it was not the red color form, so I believe it was a Porteri. But I think back then there was not really a distinction between them. It was just, I think they were all either Porteri or rosea, whichever one that was pre-existing back then. But it was actually a mature male, and it did not live very long. And back then, being very new and having done limited research, I was not aware of the lifespan of mature males and how to tell them apart. So I assumed I had did something wrong and really never got back into tarantulas until about last year, and that was when I got my green bottle blue, which this was from the Make It a package from Fear Not. That one came in. I do not have any extra plants down here, or fake leaves rather. But we know the size it's going to be. We're going to give it the same small little tattoo cap for water here off to the side. I will take some of this shredded up pork bark and just put a little bit of that in here to give it some rigidity that it'll probably knock these into the tunnel, bury them, and use that to fortify its tunnels along with its webs. You know, give it a little something to anchor to besides a web mat. And then I'm going to actually just make a little starter tunnel here, and then it can dig it out the rest of the way. I'm not sure if it'll use it, but I'm sure it'll dart into it at first. Just now, when I put it in, either that or into the water dish, we'll see. So let's go ahead and not have a repeat of what happened with the golden blue leg. Actually, we'll put its moss in here for it. Off to the side. I'll probably add a little more moss later. It's holding on to the base of this. Or no, it didn't. It moved further in. It moves further in. You guys can get a really good view of it now. If it'll focus. Again, this is the Chilibrachi's electric blue, or as its species it's now been officially assigned. I'm looking for the violets in my hand like an idiot. It is a not the tawny carum is the species, I believe is how it's pronounced. Let's go ahead and get this guy in here. Come on. We're gonna get that. Oop, on my hand almost. And into the vial, you're gonna try to climb out. So we're gonna use this lid to coax you back in. And I can always pull the vial out later as needed. Don't know if you guys could see this very well. I'm actually gonna drop this camera down a bit for you guys. All right. So don't want to hurt its little toes. So I'm just going to lightly touch them to the lid. And there we go. Real quick, take its vial out. And put the last bit of its moss in there for it. Which is now stuck to the rest of it. And there it goes. And like I said, probably going to go right into its water dish. And it just pulled itself out. But okay. That is there. And oh, while I'm at it, guys, before I forget, I actually did preprint all my labels for these guys this time. The ones for the mystery, and then I also did actually 2 of my guesses, because I'm fairly certain that those are going to be correct. That's about how confident I am in those. But let's put this on the Harpatera pulchripes real quick. We'll just do it right here. There we go. And we'll set her off to the side there. And then the electric blue. That's right here. We will attempt to peel this label off. And let's see, where did she go? She is under the moss, it looks like. So I usually put water dishes to the right side of the enclosures, which is why you guys just saw me turn that other one around for what appeared to be no reason. So we'll do the label here. And those two are there together. Now we will move on. Alrighty guys, next up is Haley's Halloween Horror. I believe this was one of the ones that I thought could be the Homeopelma. Seeing what looks like banded legs. The baby is going to be hard to tell. It's a New World terrestrial, so I'm not too concerned with it darting too far if it even attempts to do so. It's currently right here at the top, if you guys can see that. Right here, under the lid. So let's go ahead and prepare one of these enclosures, actually, before we even attempt this. Stick a label on it. We said that that was the Halloween Horror. And this used to be the enclosure for my, I believe it was Equa something Velox. Funny enough, I just put the label over it. I should have read it first. Yeah, C Velox, the, forget the common name for it. But that was from a previous mystery box. Actually, I think it was from last year's horror one. It was one of only, I believe, 2 of my slings that unfortunately did not do too well and ended up passing during a molt between then and now. And funny enough, that's actually the I have only ever had 4 slings pass on me. One was the from last year's, the Avicularia Durensis Morph Type 2, and which was the first to go during a molt. Its counterpart that came in the same mystery box, because it was a duo, that was the Carabiner Versicolor, is still thriving. And I had set them up the exact same way, so I'm still a little confused how the M2 did not thrive very well. It must have just not been meant to thrive. But that one and the Velox were the only 2 from that mystery box or mystery boxes, that did not do too well. So we're gonna go ahead and do this here with some cork bark. I will add some fake foliage later on. We will start with the small water dish here. I have a feeling I could probably go up from this tiny one to the next size up, but we will start with this just for safety's sake, even though it's going to be empty for now anyway. And we will attempt to open her here. She is on that side there. Let's see. I honestly could not tell you what I think it is based off of just seeing this thing. Part of that is because the one that I was hoping, either this one or the Emma's Flame of Fury, the one that I was hoping either of these would be, if not one was one and the other is the other one that I was hoping there'd be. I've never seen them as slings, so I cannot really tell you based off of that. Let's move her actually down here before I attempt to pull this moss out, in case she wants to crawl out with that. Give her just a little scoot. Go ahead, little one. Come on out. Honestly, being that she's a New World, I'm tempted to put her in my hand for you guys for a second, because she's very slow moving. And it looks like it might be a Homeopelma. Come on. She very much looks like it. If she's not a homeopelma, she's probably a brachypelma of some kind. Doesn't look like any of the brachypelmas I know, though, that would fit the description from the poem. Because the only ones that would maybe work was maybe a Smithy or a... She's kicking hairs. Yeah, she's stressed. Maybe not the best idea to try to handle her for a second. We will get her to go in there. Oh, now that she's unfurled herself, she's a little bigger than she looked. She's almost the size of this fake spider, which I kind of want to put in one of these enclosures now. Probably not going to put it in hers, though. Can you get your little toes a little further in? Okay. And with that, should be good to attempt to put this lid on, which looks like I did not do a fantastic job at cleaning. I need to probably clean it a little bit more. But she's in there, and actually, before I fully close her, I wanted to give her the rest of this moss that was in her vial. Just to kind of recycle that for her, because it saves having to put some of what I've already sterilized of the rest of my moss in there. Because I have a limited amount of that that's been pre-sterilized. I'm not sure if I'll have enough. We'll get to the bigger enclosures. That's perfect for her. We'll set her off to the side here. I know you guys probably want to see it as much as I do, and this is actually one of the largest, so we're just gonna save it for last, but I think we'll go ahead and rehouse Evan and Tony's Ghoulish Gem, which is, I am almost 100% certain, a Darthmaul Tarantula. Or P.victori. Salamopius victori, I believe is how the genus is pronounced. And these guys are known to be a little flighty, so we're going to be real careful about it. We're going to, looks like it's about the same size as my my Victory, or not Victory, rather, Arminia sling by Venezuelan Sun Tiger. I have a almost going on 5-inch diagonal leg span adult, and I have a baby that I got as a freebie at Repticon back in July of this year, or it's either June or July. I don't 100% remember. I think it might have been June. Yes, it was, because that's when I also got my my micro squirrels and my sugar gliders. It's right here at the top. I don't know how I want to go about doing this. Let's start off by putting the soil in here, obviously. That would be a nice start. Don't gotta go too crazy overboard, being that it's an arboreal. But I do know that these guys start off digging a little bit. Kind of like the Tapanaka species. So you want to give it just a little bit of soil, enough to dig through. I have a tendency to fill up my arboreal tarantula's bottom sections almost fully, but I am starting to not do that because it's kind of a waste and they don't use all the soil. They really only need enough to maintain humidity at just the right amount, which is less than you would think for many of these. And I did not bring my vertical fork bar down here. I have a couple that were pre-cut, so I will have to add it afterwards. But for now, we'll give it this little bit here, like so. And That'll get replaced with the other later on. I have a nice piece that'll make it all the way to the top of this for it. And right beside it here is where we'll put the water dish. And let's go ahead and open it up very carefully. It's currently facing that way. Watch it run up my arm. I bet it's going to happen. And sorry about the cat meowing in the background. One of the cats was very attached to my little sister, who's currently away at college. And he now sits by her door and cries a lot. Alright, that went a little easier than I thought it was going to. I expected it to dart out immediately. Kinda like that Tapanakis. Yeah, I'm almost certain that's a Darthmaul Tarantula. Black, red rump, and I don't know any other boreal species that's a New World that matches that coloration. Especially, another hint that gave it away was also they were marked that they had them as freebies, but they were otherwise not on the website when the mystery boxes first went live. And they were sold out as freebies. But then about 2 days later, after the mystery boxes were started, and I believe that one completely sold out, they were put back on the website as both freebies and to purchase, and shown as in stock. So my assumption was that they were waiting to see how many of the mystery boxes they would have before they knew what stock they had to outright sell when they were getting ready to put their stock up. So if that is indeed the case, well, that just reinforced my guess that this is what it is. So what I'm actually going to do is put 2 labels on this enclosure. I will put the mystery one on the back in case it's wrong, and put my guess that I'm almost certain is correct on the front. Come on, buddy. I know you're a half and half, or Mexican half and half is your other common name, but pick a side. Vial or enclosure, what are we doing? Come on. I would like to use my finger, but at the same time, this is a Victori. I'd rather not chance it. No, let's not wander off. He's going to reach right out. Or is it? Nope, she knows she can't go any further. Okay, for now we're going to put this lid on and let her find her way. And then once she's either up in the top or settles down, I will put the moss in there for her. Like I said, once she finds her way to the top, knew it was not going to take long. Didn't think it'd be that quick, but I knew it was not going to take long. So she's up there. Let's see if I can now take this like so and just put it nice down so she can continue to climb up but cannot get out. And I will add this moss here in the bottom. Even my species that need a little drier or don't need all the humidity, I always use a little bit of moss in, either the lower layer of the substrate mixed in, or I put a little dry on the surface that I leave dry as more of a decor than anything else. But I always use moss in all my enclosures. A couple of them actually have live moss, the ones that need it more humid, like my Devmatha. There we go. And for those who don't know, the Devmatha is actually the LSD tarantula, or psychedelic or polychromatic earth tiger is the other common name. I believe psychedelic was also one of the names for it, though. Let's go ahead and do Emma's Flame of Fury next. We'll take this off and see where in here she is. It looks like Hershey, who's the name, or brother Biko, is the name of my little sister's cat that was jumping at the door, enlisted the aid of his younger sister, Josie, who is a locksmith, despite being a cat, and has managed to open up doors that have been locked with keys, and the key's no longer even in the door. Because I now hear them both jumping at that door. I apologize if you guys can hear that. I'm sure you can hear them meowing at least. Let me actually go and give them some love real quick so they'll settle down, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so it turns out that she didn't even want loving. It was actually Josie the entire time, not even Hershey. My little brother is at work, and she wanted into his car. I am the only one that works from home. Or wanted into his room, rather, not his car. And let's go ahead and see about Women's Flame of Fury. She is buried wherever she is. Oh, she is nice and tiny. This one could be a Brachypelma. It looks just like my Smithy. Just like my Smithy, just way tinier. So I'll actually start her off in this because a 3x3 feels like even that'll be too big right now. And if it is a Brachypelma, it'll be a ways off before it's big enough for that. And this will be one of the ones that I may not even put a water dish in. Because I don't know if it will be too small even for that water dish. So let's go ahead and put just a little piece of the cork bark in here. Like so. Maybe give it this little chunk here. Actually, no, what we'll do is we'll do this angled. This almost flake of it. We'll put its moss on the other side here. A little bit of moss here underneath to help hold that little flake of cork bark up. And then I will take one of the tiny water dishes, which, oh, I don't know if you guys can see it actually off in the corner here. She's actually climbing out all on her own. Yeah, I think it's probably a Brachypelma. That looks just like my Brachypelma, like way too much like it. Don't know if you guys can really see her. And she's up on the vial now. If the camera will focus. There we go. Probably gonna climb down my hand here. I'll let her sit on my finger while I get her enclosure together. She's so light that you can't even, like, feel her. Actually, I can just barely feel her little toes. We'll just stick this little... Let's see. I think this water dish is going to be too big even, so we're not going to do a water dish in her enclosure yet. We'll put this moss in there. And we will coax her down onto my other finger here. And of course, she's just gonna climb up. Come on. There you go. Let you guys see her real quick in there. She's right there on the moss by my finger here. If the camera wants to focus. I'll put my hand there, it might. There you go, she's currently trying to climb up. I might need to put a little more soil in there because relevant to her, she needs a little more, I think. And she climbed right out entirely. Let's get you right back in there. Oh, down my fingers, not up it. Come on. Come on. Go ahead. Come on. Where are you going, buddy? We'll tap on your butt to get you in there. Down and right back on my finger you went. This is going to be a struggle. Although I much prefer this to catching that Haplopelma, or Haplopelma rather, the golden blue leg baboon. It didn't go far, went right there underneath my computer. All I had to do was get the catch cup and just lift the laptop gently. It was actually easier than this, however, not nearly as adorable. And you go into your enclosure again for me, buddy. There you go. And this time we're not going to make the mistake of letting her find her way out again. Alrighty. Actually, that lid is backwards. There we go. Let's go ahead and put the label here. I actually forgot to put it on the Darthmaul as well. This was Flame of Fury. Which I'm almost certain is a Brachypelma of some kind. Because I think the other one is the Homeopelma, or Homeoma chilensis. If it's not, that'd be surprising. But one of the two, or most likely that one, and that one probably isn't it because it looks more like a Brachypelma to me. And the hint being, or the mystery box being named Flame of Fury, leads me to believe it's probably a flame knee of some kind, or red knee, or one of the two. So we will put this label actually off to the side here. The mystery event, just so I have a record of it, and it's not mislabeled if I am wrong and it's not a Darthmaul, but I think that's a very slim chance, only because I really don't know for a fact. They haven't announced it and won't until Saturday. But I don't think it's likely that it's anything else but. Because you guys, actually, if you guys can see it here, even from the side, the orange and red, like just about any picture you ever see of, especially the ones on Fear Not's website, it looks just like that, with the red fading to the black towards the front. So I'm pretty sure I'm right. Pretty sure. Now let's go ahead and get the Grammostola in here. I don't think we need that big of an enclosure yet. We'll start off with this here. For some reason I heard an inch or read an inch and grabbed a couple of these. I don't know why an inch made me think I was going to need these for an inch plus. Actually, the one that was an inch plus was the Darthmaul, but as we can see, when you actually see an inch plus, it sounds bigger than it actually is. So let me figure out what we're going to do. We're going to start with the soil here. Like so. And I am going to put this piece of cork bark right here off to the side there, and it can get, I think we're good to give it a small size. I don't think it needs a tiny water dish. We may switch it, but we'll see when I actually see her out of the vial. But it looks like she's plenty big. Like her rump itself looks like it's about as big as the opening on that. So droning is unlikely, and being a Grammostola, it's not gonna be filled all the way, and it's just gonna be whenever I top it off. It won't be crazy amounts. But she's a nice size, you guys can see right there. Now, being a Grammostola, they're usually fairly docile. This one, I believe, is one of the ones that's an exception to what is most often the rule, although any species can differ between molts even of the same individual. But we will see. Drop the lid in there. We shall see. Let's pull out some of the moss here. Let you guys see her. I don't want to tilt it too much, so I don't want her to fall or anything, but if I can't get a nice view for you guys, if the camera wants to focus. Here, camera, focus. See if I get it under my hand there, if it'll do it. There it goes. Kinda. It can do better though, we know that. It's adjusting slowly. And I think that's about as clear as it's gonna get. You guys can see she's a nice size there. Let's get her into the enclosure. Nice big leggy girl. Don't think I need all of this moss in there. I'll tuck just a bit, maybe into the soil a bit right here in the corner. Oh, and she just climbed herself right out. And she's going to climb onto me. I'm not too concerned. Go ahead. And if anybody was going to do it, let it be the Grammostola. Go ahead. All right, back in she goes. And while she's far enough away from the lid for me to safely do this without fear of accidentally crushing her or anything, we will shut the lid. And I don't know if you guys could see her. You can kind of, as she is there on top of her wood. And let me put her label on. And then we are down to the last but not least, the avicular, well, the definite last, Avicularia purpia. All right, let's get the Avicularia purpia into her enclosure. Start with this one here. And we'll just add some of the Biodude substrate, the Terra Arena. And with these ones today, assuming that this one that looks like a Brachypelma is not a Brachypelma smithy, as long as it's anything but a Brachypelma smithy, I have 41 species in my collection now. At least one individual from 41 different species. The only ones that I have two of the species would be my Venezuelan sun tiger, the Psalmopius arminia, and my Carabina versicolor. So let's go ahead and get her in here. We'll start with this tiny little water dish here because I don't know her size yet. I'm not too concerned with her climbing out. She's an avicularia. They're generally docile, especially as babies. I don't think I have anything to worry about here. Yeah, she's about what I thought she would be in terms of size. She's all the way at the bottom. This moss is surprisingly very dry in there. Oop, she just jumped right out. Way faster than I was thinking she would. Come on, out of my hand, sweetheart. I don't know if the camera caught that, but I was not expecting her to jump in that exact moment. It was like the first time a tarantula ever actually did a little leap like that for me. And you can see she's got that signature Vicularia patterning there on the rump. And there she goes again, right into the bag of the substrate. Wonderful. Come here, you. And onto the scoop. Okay, she clearly don't want to pose for pictures, so let's go ahead and get her in the enclosure, which again, I don't have a vertical cork bark down here with me. So let me see if she will let me set her down a second without darting on me. And I will break a piece of this other cork bark off to give her something at least. Rather than nothing. Just to give her something to sit on towards the middle of the enclosure while I put the lid on safely. And then I will give her some vertical cork bark when I get upstairs. Oh wait, why am I bothering to use that? I could use my fingers. Come on. Come on, you. Okay, she jumped right in. Right there, real quick. Put the lid on safely, and there she goes, starting up the top. And there is our purpia. You guys can see her there. Alrighty, guys. I know this is going to be, or this is going to be at the end of the video. This was a little bit longer of a video than many of you would probably prefer to be watching. But I hope you guys enjoyed my unboxing of the 2023 fall mystery boxes. And I actually completely missed it. So thank you to Tanya for, and the rest of the Fear Not team for the little goodie bag here of some Halloween themed decor that I will put in a couple of these enclosures. I see there's another mushroom in here, so I will probably put that in with the Gramasola, or what I believe is the Flame Nate. I'll probably put the coffin in with the Darthmaul Tarantula. So, yeah. And again, for those who have not been to Fear Not or purchased on them before, here is their card again. Yeah. Peace.